arguments we expect to hear from President Trump.
So now my question is it constitutional to attack and question and have no faith in the proceedings of the word for word of the proceedings of the Constitution? Meaning there is a reason why the proceeding of the Constitution proceeding is fair and justice for all, because it already went through the trials and tribulations to prove that the constitutional proceedings is fair and justice. Okay. I wrote it down. Constitutional proceedings is fair and justice because it went through the trials and tribulations for the process and the proceedings to be fair and liberty for all. That's why we live in a democracy, constitutional country. That's the reason why we live in a country based on a democracy that is based on trials and hearings. Attacking and dismissing a probable cause for a trial proceeding of a constitutional proceeding is illegal and wrongdoing and is physical evidence of failing to observe the law. And by that statement of attacking and going against and objecting the constitutional process proceeding, that means you are going against the constitutional process proceeding ways. So that means you're going against the word for word of the Constitution. And that means you're objecting against the democracy. If you are objecting against the democracy, you are not upholding. You are failing to observe. You are failing to protect. You are failing to defend the democracy of the United States of America because you do not practice and execute the procedures of the Constitution. So is it constitutional to proceed in the procedures of the constitutional proceedings of personality, behaviors, of actions? Isn't it the responsibility of the Constitution to demand the proceeding of the constitutional proceeding process to be successful? So any statement from any Republican stating that the proceedings is unfair is objecting to the whole system and the whole purpose of the democracy. The only way we know if you're innocent or guilty, we need a trial. We need a hearing. That's why we have details and word for word and groups of words that make laws to address and approach the proper constitutional proceedings of process. They dismissing, objecting to this trial, to this process that has physical evidence, that has witness, that has statements, that has testified, has statements from testified people, but people that's testifying. is already violation, breaking, failure to observe, failure to protect, failure to defend the laws, the Constitution, the democracy of the United States of America. Because the whole purpose of the democracy of the United States of America is the proceedings. The whole point and the whole core of the United States of America is the proceedings. The proceedings is the pattern of the journey that precedes the proceedings, a process in the constitutional, fair, justice, fair trial for all and everyone, no matter what type, race, or anything. Because if they dismiss or demand that this proceedings and this process is illegal, they are damaging and they are objecting against the obligation, protecting, defending the United States of America's democracy, word for word, and how the personality, behaviors, and actions are supposed to be executed, practiced, and exercised. Because the Republicans are against the proceedings, they are against every law. The Republicans that is against the proceedings, the process of the constitutional proceedings, is against the United States of America. And by that statements, and by the under the oath statements, that is physical evidence standing in court with leggings, body, and face, of foundations, of failures, and disqualification of any office officials, profit, or benefits. By those statements of attacking, insulting, damaging, harassing, threatening the constitutional proceeding process is disqualification, illegal crimes, damages directly and straight to the democracy of the United States of America. Because the objection is evidence of physical evidence that they intentionally orchestrating actions to not obey, to fail to observe, and intentionally breaking the laws, Constitution, democracy of the United States of America by intentions, by the court of law, because they are the court of law. So by the court of law, they are prejudiced. By the court of law, they are biased. By the court of law, they are unconstitutional. By why? Done by these stating reasons of statements, physical evidence, and under oath. Under oath. Yo, Ghost. So anyone dismissing or demanding dismissal against the constitutional proceedings of a fair trial, so we know if it's guilty or not guilty, innocent or not innocent. The proceedings was created for fair justice and liberty for all. So we cannot interfere with their freedom. So we must have a trial. Because Donald J. Trump is disqualified for any office, official, profit, or benefit. Any office, official, profit, or benefit. He is disqualified for all in any office, official, profit, or benefit.
That terrible day, and you will not hear any member of the team representing former President Trump say anything but in the strongest possible way denounce the violence of the rioters. And
any Republican denounce the proceedings of a constitutional proceeding to check and correct the evidence of an existing event is violation and breaking the constitutional proceeding process and is violation, breaking, failing, and is not protecting and defending the democracy of the United States of America.
of those things. Certainly, as a FOP member and a member of many police organizations myself, we mourn the loss of the Capitol Police Officer.
Anyone denouncing any violence on January 6, 2021 is accepting crimes. And accepting crimes is against the constitutional democracy of the United States of America. Allowing and permitting one day of crimes is not allowed in the Constitution and the democracy of the United States of America. So denouncing is illegal and is a damage and an assault to the democracy of the United States of America.
Reaction of human beings, because we are generally a social people. We enjoy being around one another, even in DC. We recognize that
because we like to be around each other, that's the reason why we live in a place of democracy. Because everyone is individual, everyone is unique, and we must be fair to every difference, every uniqueness, and everything that doesn't be the same of one another. That's the reason why we live in a country that has trials, fair elections, because everyone is individual, everyone is unique. There's many different groups here in this country. Do he understand that? Anyone that lacks that understanding is lacking the responsibility of knowing and understanding and executing their job in the proper understanding of a democracy, of fair and justice, liberty and freedom for all. No matter your differences or your uniqueness.
I commend the FBI and the District of Columbia Police and the other agencies for their work. It's natural to recoil It's an immediate thing. It comes over you without your ability to stop it. The desire for retribution. Who caused this awful thing? How do we make them pay?